Good morning. Good morning. Hold on. Let me go live everywhere. I need to hit go live. And all right. So then we're there. And now we're going live over here. All right. I think we're there. Hold on. Good morning. Good morning. And make sure as you get here, as you arrive, that you let me know that you're here. Say hello in the comments. Um, All right, so let me get this other thing up. So I'm trying here. Oh, there we are. Hold on a second. Thing up. So beautiful. All right, so let's see. Make sure you say hello in the comments and let me know you're here. And I just have to share because oh, I don't know, is it freezing over here? Is it what is going on? Let me close out some things on my windows and let's see if that helps some because it looks like it's frozen, but I don't know. I see you're there, Kimmy. Am I frozen for you? It's not loading on that end down there, so I just want to make sure. All right. Good morning. Good morning. And just so you know, if I don't acknowledge that you're here, okay, perfect. Thank you, Kimmy. If I don't acknowledge that you're here, it's that I can't see. But let me pop over here really quick. All right. I see I've got some people on Instagram as well. Beautiful. So glad to have you here. And good morning. And right now, I know a lot of people are having storms and different things, and we are under a tornado watch. Had to think, what is it? Is it a warning? Is it a watch? It's a watch because the everything is favorable. I mean, just a few moments ago, the wind was really blowing and it was raining, and now it's calmed down a little bit. So I don't know. Is it the calm before the big storm? Have no idea. So if anything happens while we're on here, I'll just have to have to leave. But I think it'll be just fine. It'll be just fine. And so whatever's going on around you, I appreciate you being here and participating. It is such an amazing thing, and I love everybody for taking the time out of their day to enjoy these morning affirmations and journal prompts because I really really love them. Let me take a sip of my coffee. So, one of the things that I talk about a lot is that a 1% change every day creates exponential growth, remember. And so a lot of times we have these ideas in our mind that things aren't moving fast enough. We haven't made enough progress, like it's what is that old saying that a watch pot never boils, because we spend all our time there, watching it, and we can't see the temperature rising as we're watching. So the other thing is, it's like a gardener planting his seeds and then continuously going and digging them up to see if they're sprouting, because he doesn't have the patience to watch them come out of the ground. And by digging them up, it kind of disturbs them, so they may never sprout, right? And so we want to make sure that we're in this place where we recognize that it's okay to not have this quantum leap, because a lot of people are talking on social media, and they maybe have courses where, and I've even seen it like with weight loss, in 30 days, you'll have washboard abs. Well, how do they know what your abs look like when you start? No, they don't. And so it's just a blanket statement that they use. And let's face it, if you can lose 100 pounds in 90 days, then in just a few months, you're going to be 90 to 120 pounds heavier, just because the nature of it, you haven't learned anything. You haven't grown. You haven't become that person. You haven't let go of the limiting beliefs. You haven't done all of those things, right? And so there's a reason why sometimes things take a little bit of time. It's because you're not the person that can handle it yet, right? Does that make sense? And if you're not the person that can handle it yet, that means you may get that exponential growth. You may get that quantum leap, and suddenly you're a millionaire, right? You said the right thing, you sold the right thing, and now you're a millionaire. But you don't know how the hell to handle the money. You don't know what it takes to make it again. You don't know, right? And so there's a reason why there's a process that goes. It does make sense. Good, good. Let me look back over here. Let's see, is there good morning, good morning. Let me can't click on it. All right, so let me get back over here. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and get to the affirmation. So give me just a second to copy and paste. All right. So today's affirmation is, each step I take is progress, no matter how small, because each little step takes us closer to where we want to go, right? Now, we can also be taking steps backwards if we're not mindful of what we're doing. Because like I said, I was talking about it yesterday, that the only constant thing in life is change. So if you do nothing, absolutely nothing to create something better in your life, then you're not staying right where you are today. No, baby, no. You are going backwards, because you're either growing to something more, or you're diverting back to something that used to be, or getting worse, right? And so that's the thing that I think a lot of times we forget, that no action is still an action. It's just going in the wrong direction. And so it's discerning, what do you want? And recognizing that even though you may have these lofty goals and these ideas for something in your life and you haven't reached it yet, as long as you're making progress, you're taking a step every day, then like that 1% change every day creates exponential growth. Now, it doesn't happen overnight. You might have these epiphanies that come to you, and you might have these little times that something big happens, right? But if you're not growing in that process, you'll self-sabotage from that big thing. And so recognizing that helps us to be more mindful of our growth, so that we're continuously stepping out of our comfort zone, just a touch at least, because that's where the real growth lies, right? Because if you're only doing exactly what is comfortable, you're growing even less than 1%. It's that getting outside of that comfort zone. Now, it doesn't have to be a big leap out of your comfort zone, right? But if you're getting out of your comfort zone just a touch, then you're making more progress. You're getting that 1% growth. I hope that makes sense as well. Put a 1 in the comments if you're understanding that. It feels like that is truth. And if it doesn't feel like that's true, then put a 2 in the comments. Let's have a discussion about it, right? Because it's important to discern, what is it that we're doing and why are we doing it? Beautiful. Thank you for that, Kimmy. Let me look over here and see if there's any response on that. Okay. So now let's get to, and remember, with your affirmation, you put it on a sticky note, your index card, your mirror with a chalk marker, put it as a screensaver on your phone, whatever you need to do to make sure that this is in the top of your vision at some point so that you can refer back to this during the day. Because where I am, it's morning, and I don't know what it is where everybody that is watching this, or maybe you're watching the replay later. And if that's you, then make sure you put hashtag replay, and so that I know that you came back and you watched the replay. And the thing is that whether it's night when you watch this, and you can start the next day and just keep adding to it, but keep this in front of your face so that you all day long you can say, yes, each step I take is progress, no matter how small. And the small steps sometimes can be like poof, it's like a small step, and it's like, wow, that one small step changed so much. And so even though it's small steps, it can still be a big change. It doesn't necessarily mean that you never notice anything, but it's okay if you really don't see a lot of progress in the beginning, as long as you're taking the steps, right? All right, so let me copy and paste this right here. Okay, so now let's get to the journal prompt. Ooh. Think about a small action you took recently that moved you closer to your goal. Can you think of anything? Well, one of the small actions I took the other day, and it's interesting, is, when you're really working with all of this, because we do the affirmations and the journal prompts every day. And we talk about intuition, we talk about growth, we talk about so many things. And so when you're really focused on this every single day, it's like April was magic month, right? And it's still filtering into this month because, like I've said before, it's all magic if you allow it, right? So I was on I had a podcast recording the other day, and the guests that I had on, I was talking to them, doing 3 podcasts this month as a guest, walking more. Yes, beautiful. But I had this guest on, and at the current time, I'm, as some of you may know, I am working on a program and doing creating a workshop. And so some people have said, yes, I really want to come to this workshop. So I'm getting very close to releasing the date of it and everything. But the reason I'm saying this is, this podcast guest, I didn't know who she was. She found me in a group that I belong in, or not belong in, I am a member of, that I had put information about my podcast. And so she had reached out and scheduled, right? And so I really didn't know anything about her, but come to find out, she has so much knowledge and expertise that would be so amazing to be in my workshop and in my program as part of it. And it was like, whoo, this just feels delicious. It was like these synchronicities, because I posted the group that she was in, that she came from. They asked if anybody that had a podcast, would you post your information about your podcast? And so I did. And, it's like when you post something on Facebook, right? And it's like there's a limited number of people that actually see it before it gets way down into your thread, right? And so the fact that I posted it and then she saw it, she responded, I sent her a calendar link, and she was able to schedule in, and we did the podcast. And actually, I'm working on getting it published right now. But the thing is that all these little synchronicities had to happen in order for us to get to the place where we actually had the conversation. And I come to the realization that she would be an amazing addition to what I was about to offer everyone. And so it's like these this magical synchronicities all the time happen, right? So the small action step I took that day was I said, hey, after we finished the podcast and we were talking, I said, I'm about to have this program that I'm putting out, and I'm going to be doing a workshop. And I really would love to have you as part of a bonus for the workshop, or of the program. And maybe, good morning, V. Good morning. Happy to have you here. And so it was like I could have just let that go and went on about my business and said, I'll talk to her about that later. But it was like I knew in the moment that I needed to say something, right? And she said, it has been a while since I've seen you. I know you've probably been busy. You guys all are in so many different groups. I don't know how that you have the time to get into each one of them, but I'm glad you're here today. But the thing that is interesting about it is, after I talked to her, I said, let's go ahead and schedule to have a deeper conversation about what this could look like for both of us. And so we ended up scheduling that, and we had that conversation. Was it yesterday? I think it might have been yesterday. And she several times said, oh, I'm so glad I met you. And because we can just kind of feel this connection, and the things that what she does and what I do is like beautiful. I think it's going to be the best connection for what I want to offer everybody. God prompted you to talk to her. Yes, definitely. It was like, if I don't do this, I'm going to feel like I've walked away from something, because my biggest thing is I want to have feel the void that a lot of people have with certain things, right? I do too. I love connections. And so I'm super excited, and I'm not going to say anything about it yet, because I don't want to give anything away until we've got everything dialed in and know more about what we're doing. And but just know that it's going to be amazing. And I actually talked to her about coming into the Make Lasting Change group and sharing some of her expertise. And so we're working on when that's going to happen. But I am so excited with how this goes, right? So that was a little tiny small action I took by saying, oh, this sounds like something that I would love to have as part of my program. Are you open to talking? She said, yes. There you go, right? So where in your life do you kind of feel like that you want to make some progress? And what has thinking about these small action steps, does it make you see that it's the baby steps sometimes that end up creating this big thing? So as I'm talking to you, so is there something right now that is going on that a baby step would be beautiful to get you moving? And sometimes, like I said, you can take baby steps and all of them be in your comfort zone, and you're still going to move, but it's going to be like, right? So look at your comfort zone. And when you're writing out some things that you want to do, your action steps, how many of them actually tip you out of the comfort zone just a little bit? So with your journal prompt, I want you to not only think about these small actions that you took recently that moved you closer to your goal, but I want you to think about, how did that make you feel? And how can you utilize that right now for something that you are wanting to create, something that you're wanting to do in your life? And, it could be that you're wanting to take a trip, right? So maybe that's it. You want to take a trip. So it doesn't always have to be business, right? So if you're wanting to take a trip, what would be the first thing that you would do? And, sometimes it's just well, deciding where you wanted to go, looking up things. Like a friend of mine and I, we are planning on taking a long weekend in September. So we've been actually going in and looking at places and figuring out, what days would work for the two of us. And because this is going to be, we're doing some business stuff together. It's amazing. And we're taking 3 days in a mountain cabin to just kind of zen out and let intuition guide us and create, right? And so the first step we took was deciding we were going to do that. And then now we are looking at all the places that we might want to go. And so there are different things that you do with each one of these, right? So let me see what everybody's saying. V says, I'm technically challenged. Does that include help with it? I'm technically challenged. Does that mean technology is a challenge for you? Then Kimmy says, oh, let me pick this up and look. So I did a live on Facebook and I'm asking people for the input on dating, what they are looking for in a courtship that leads to marriage. Asking for help or input was hard for me. Oh, beautiful, Kimmy. That's great. That is stepping out of your comfort zone big time, right? And I don't know if I shared with you guys, there was a time many years ago that I was really wanting to be in a relationship or whatever. And so one of the coaches that I had worked with, she said to find someone who was happily married and and talk to them and see what was the going through their mind when they were dating and what was all these things. So I found that I had these friends that they, for all intents and purposes, were happily married. I mean, it was amazing, right? And so I asked her to go to lunch with me. And at lunch, she said, oh, I'm so glad we're getting together and everything. And I said, well, there is an ulterior motive. I would really like to find out, and I explained to her, what I was doing. And she just put her fork down and she said, well, Vicki, you're not talking to the right person. I said, what do you mean? She said, well, our marriage is not good at all. She said, we're basically just friends. And that's why it looks so good when we're out, because it's not a partnership as far as a romantic partnership anymore. And she said, sometimes we don't even like each other at all, but we don't let other people see that. And I thought, oh my gosh, so make sure whoever you're getting advice from, that they are truly the person that you should get advice from. I'm just saying that. That is looking for this info so I could collect info for my podcast, starting to gather info. Beautiful, beautiful. I love it. I love it. And V says, yes, you're right. Technology challenged. I need a friend for that because I would not do it alone. I do travel with my daughter, but would like to do it with a friend as well. Beautiful. Well, there are some amazing meetup groups that are travel meetup groups. So I don't know if there's some meetup groups in your area, but I would say go to that if you are looking to maybe do some traveling and you don't want to do it by yourself and you don't want to do it with somebody you don't know at all. Then join one of these groups, because I'm a part of a couple of them. And so sometimes they have like these little meet and greets. Sometimes they have like you go hiking or you do something, and it's a place for you to connect a little bit, get to know people, and then they will like once a quarter they'll have like a trip. And like I just announced this morning, one of the trips that they've got coming up is out of the country. But so, and then there's a lot of times they have trips to just to another state. And so it's a beautiful way for you to connect with some people that are doing the same, that are wanting the same thing. And that doesn't mean you ever have to travel with them, but it's a beautiful way to meet people that are like-minded, and just surround yourself with some people who have the same interest, right? So that would be beautiful for you to do. And all right, so great idea. I'll find out. So Wonderful. So you'll have to let me know, because I did recommend one time for somebody to go to a meetup group, and she said that the town she lived in was so small there was no meetup groups anywhere near her. And I thought, I've never heard of that, but you know, because there are. I mean, I think if you liked popcorn, you could probably find a group that likes popcorn. I don't know. It just seems like no matter what it is that I'm wanting to do, I can look for a group and there's a group there. Now, a lot of them meet now virtually, but there are still a lot of them that meet in person. And, there's actually, that come to think of it, Kimmy, one of the things that might be beneficial for you as you're doing this research is to go to meetup that are for singles and just kind of walk around and talk to people. And as you're talking, you could say, I'm about to have this podcast. Would you be someone that would want to be interviewed? It's a beautiful way to get to know people. And so that might be a good idea. If you haven't done that already, you'll have to let me know if that sounds like it would be beneficial. Oh, that sounds amazing, V. Yes. I will say there was one time I did start one because there was a particular type of book that I was reading. And at the time there were no meetup groups about this. And it was a type of self-help, but okay, beautiful, Kimmy. Yeah, you'll have to keep me posted with that too, because it can be very, very beneficial to join some of these meetup groups and learn about people and just get to know people. And I still belong to a lot of the single ones, but it's like right now it's not in my radar. And I don't want to take the time to go and do all of that. So I'm not even worried about it. So I get the little notifications. I still have the app on my phone, but that's not where my focus is right now. So I don't go to any of the single meetings now. All right. So let's just look at, are you ladies, both of you, what is one small action step that you're going to take? I would say this week, but is there an action step that you could do today that you'll commit to? And that goes for anyone that's watching on Instagram or YouTube as well. If there's a little small action step that you could take today that will move the needle on what you want, whether it's you're wanting to travel, you're wanting to do research for your podcast, whether it's you're wanting to move some retail, you're wanting to sell your book, whatever it is, what is one step that you can do? Oh, beautiful, beautiful, Kimmy. And I can't remember exactly where you're at, but it's a pretty big area, isn't it? So I would think, I mean, there are tons of single things in my area. Some of them I have to drive into Atlanta, but some of them are not in Atlanta. They're out local. And, like V said, you could always create one. You could create one, and then part of the membership thing would be that they would answer some questions, kind of like what we do with a Facebook group. Maybe start one that gives you the opportunity to interview everybody. That might be an idea too. All right. So V, is there something that you're going to do that you can commit to doing today? Yeah, beautiful, Kimmy. And I will be honest, it does cost to create one, but I think if I remember right, the first time I created one, they gave you an amazing deal so that you would go ahead and create. And then it's like a yearly fee. After work research. Sorry, I'm late with message. I'm walking and writing. So funny. I was thinking of doing something with singles too, because the singles group here seems to have died, disappeared, gone. Um, what is PWP? Parents without partners? I think that's it. Parents without partners. Oh, that's it. If I read further. um, they were so old for me at the time, so might not be around. All right. So yeah, like I said, the when I should be invested in meetups, I guess, because I keep telling everybody to do it. Yes, I'm at work, so I'll soon be leaving. Okay. Um, just so you're committed, and what I want you to do, both of you, when you do the thing today, I want you to go into this group right here, the Make Lasting Change group, and I want you to make a post that says, I did it. My small action step today was, and put it out there. And to share it in the group, because I do this because I want to help everybody, right? And I have found that when you post your thing in the group, other people get so much more out of what you did. And then they in turn do something. So it's really important to go in and make an actual post in the group. So will you two ladies commit to that today? And so, for those of you that are watching on Instagram or you're watching on YouTube, if you would like to be part of the Make Lasting Change group, and that's the two ladies that I'm talking to right now are in the Make Lasting Change group, and we help each other so much, and we hug each other virtually. It's a virtual hug. But it's everybody is there for everybody, and we help each other in so many different ways, that if you need that in your life, then join the group, right? You just go to vickypoole.com, VICKIEPOOLE.com, and you'll be prompted to answer some questions. Once you answer those questions, you'll be entered into the group, and then you can participate and get a lot of the camaraderie of the group, because I like to say, and you guys have heard me say this so many times, that I feel like everybody is just sitting in my backyard. We're sitting around a campfire, we're holding hands, and we're singing Kumbaya. We are connected. It's not like a group of people that are all individual out there with their own interest. Everybody is coming together. And not too long ago, we had like a morning with I asked people to have a moment of silence and prayer with me, because I had a niece that was in dire need and was in the hospital. And in doing that, a lot of people showed up. They even said, there's somebody in my that I know that has cancer. So we did all of that together. We've had so many different things that we have done together, and I really want to do some more. So we've had guests in the group that it's just been amazing to help everybody. And I'm all the time on the lookout for someone who can pour in a little bit more for you guys. And I'm really wanting to, connect a little bit deeper too, and to maybe do another evening thing where we connect, and maybe we just chat, or we read a book together, or we do something. I really would like to have a more connection where we all get on a Zoom collectively, and we can see each other's faces. And I'm feeling that desire right now for that. Oh, Joyce, I haven't seen you in forever. I'm so glad you're here today. But it's interesting that you pop up right now, because I was just talking about I miss some of the people, and I want more connection and everything. Yes, our community is beautiful. We are like family, there for each other. Yes, yes. it is definitely an amazing group. And so, like I said, when you take these action steps today, what you've just committed to, then make sure you post in the group that you are hashtag peachy vibes and that you have done what you committed to. And so it is going to be amazing. And Joyce, we were just, hey. Uh, for those that are not in the group, you might not realize that Joyce has been kind of stepped away from a lot of this social media for a little bit to collect her thoughts and do her Bible study and everything. So it's really, really cool to see her here today. And so our affirmation, remember, our affirmation is each step I take is progress, no matter how small, right? And then our journal prompt, think about a small action you took recently that moved you closer to your goal. And not only that, I want you to expand on that to where, how did it feel when you did that? And what is something that you can do now, an action step that you can take, no matter how small it is, that will help you to do whatever it is you want to do, whether that's take a trip, whether that is expand your business, or like Kimmy, do research, like V, and do research as well. And so it's amazing, right? What is the step that you can commit to take? So Joyce, now that you're here, you may be at work or something, I don't know, but the what is one step that you can commit to taking today to create something in your life, whether, like I was just talking about taking a trip. If you're taking a trip, what is the step? And so the thing is, I also want to make sure that I expand on just a little bit, is that when you're looking at the small steps that you're going to take, make sure that at least one of them is something that stretches you out of your comfort zone, because staying inside your comfort zone can be, well, comfortable for one thing, and it can make changes. It's just like a lot slower pace, because when you're wanting something in your life, then there's a growth that you have to go through, right? And if you're not getting out of your comfort zone, at least just a touch, then you're not growing at the rate that will get you to the place where you can handle your amazing life that you're creating, right? Because all of this is growth that gets you to where, when you get there, it's like, game on. I can handle this. This is a beautiful place to live, and I'm going to keep growing, right? Since meeting you all, I live outside the comfort zone. Yes, you do, Joyce. Yes, you do. And I love that. So, what is one thing you can commit to today that will move the needle just a little bit? What is one thing that you can commit to so that you can come back and into the group and say, I did this. This was my thing I had to do. I said I would do today. And I know I'm putting you on the spot, but I also put Kimmy and V on the spot too. Okay. Think about that. And then post sometime today into the group and said, I chose this as my movement, my small action step. Ooh, that's a good one. I asked my sister to co-sign a car for me yesterday. Ooh, well, let's just collectively hold on a second. Hold on a second. Let's all take just a moment. Get your hands together, get the energy moving, get the energy flowing. And just send the positive vibrations, the positive experiences out for Joyce, that her sister will comply and be available and be open to helping her. Because the thing is, God gives us the desire because it's already there. So if you had the desire to ask, the car's yours. It's just the little tweaks that you have to do to get to it, right? Have you found a car that you wanted? I'm waiting for the answer. Oh, beautiful, beautiful. All right. So today, your task is to sit in meditation and visualize yourself drive. That's okay. That's okay, Joyce. But your task today, so your action step today, even though it doesn't sound like a real action step, is to sit in silence as many times as you can do it today and visualize yourself signing the document and getting the keys to the car, and visualize yourself getting in the car and driving away from the dealership or wherever it is that it's coming from. Just visualize it. I'm calling another company to see how to set up a payment plan. Yes, yes. So spend some time today with the visualization part of it, because remember, what we focus on, we bring to us, right? So just by taking some of your time, instead of it being a call, a reach, whatever, you test drove it yesterday. Beautiful. So now you know what it feels like to be in that car and driving it. So just imagine that you're signing the document and you got the keys in your hand, you got the papers in the other, and you go get in the car, you put all your papers either in the seat or in the glove box, you crank up the car, and you feel it, and then you drive in your imagination, you drive it home, okay? So today is your Imagineer day, right? You're an Imagineer, like the Disney people are Imagineers, right? So today, your focus is imagining all the essences of you in that car driving. All right, so there's a reason why you showed up this morning, so we could help you to imagine and send you all the positive feels and create this Imagineer story for you. And then journal the heck out of all the things that are coming up for you and get into that excitement, a place of you've got it, it's yours. And it doesn't matter whether it's your sister cosigns or they give you a different kind of plan, whatever it is, just know that if you imagine it, then all the things will all come together to make it true, because God put it in your heart, because it's possible. And like Kimmy says, you've got this. All right. So will you commit to just be the Imagineer today and just do that? The other stuff will all work itself out. Yes. Thank you. I have been. Life is so much better at this moment than it has been in a long time. Beautiful. I'm so glad to hear it. So glad to hear it. And I'm so thankful and grateful to see you this morning and to be able to pour into you a little bit, since you haven't been here in just a bit. And that's perfectly okay, because I know, like I was telling Kimmy and V, everybody's in so many groups. I just don't know how everybody has the time to pop in. And that's why sometimes there's a lot of people on and sometimes there's not, because they're spreading themselves out. And I just am grateful that you're here. And I love you guys so much. And it just brings me so much joy to be able to pour into you in the mornings. It really does. And so I'm so happy to be here with you. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and close it up. Does anybody have any last minute things that they want to share before I shut the live down? I'm kind of getting hungry. I think I might have breakfast this morning. Yes, beautiful. Like I said, Joyce, there was a reason you were here today. God said, get on there. They're going to tell you to do something and it's going to help. All right. So I guess there's no questions or anything anybody wants to add. I know there's a delay. I'll be so glad when we can do it where everything pops up quickly or it pops up over here so I can see things happening at the same time, right? All right. So you ladies and whoever, let's see. All right. So I've got a few people. It's just I don't know who they are. Go ahead and make sure if you feel like this is yes, just have a great day. Beautiful. So anybody that wants to be part of the Make Lasting Change group, I'll tell you one more time, go to vickypoole.com, VICKIEPOOLE.com. Answer the questions when prompted, and then you can be in the group and you can experience it all with us. And so I love you guys for being here, and you have a peachy day that is full of magic and inspiration. And I will see you tomorrow. What is tomorrow? Friday. Yes, tomorrow, 9 a.m. Eastern time. Mwah.